Hello everyone, welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 0 episode talk. So in this episode, apparently back in the day, Kaiba used to be a happy kid with the butler and they were playing games together. And it was great. And the butler was teaching Kaiba how to basically learn from defeat in that sense. Use that bitterness in order to strengthen yourself in order to become better. And then Gozaburo got a hold of Kaiba and basically ruined everything by making him an evil prick. That is basically what we have. Meanwhile, during present day, Mokuba recalls the losses to Yugi and wants to know what Kaiba's gonna do about it. And I'm like, excuse me, are you the one who's in charge here? What? But also there's apparently tomorrow going to be a duel with a rival corporation. And soon, Papa will return as well. But Kaiba has already made moves and he has one warrior left in order to fight Yugi. That being the last of the 4 game masters, the butler himself. He's still alive. He is being basically held together with duct tape. Meanwhile, the girls are shopping and Tristan loves everything Miho chooses. Meanwhile, Yugi, in a way, does the same for Teiya as well. So, just a little bit of validation for the girls, you know. Their brains, for some reason, need that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, the butler gets sent to duel the rival company. And the butler wins that duel. We don't get to see it at all, but he wins. So, there you go. That's a good thing. So, then afterwards, Teiya invites Yugi to the amusement park tomorrow. And Yugi sees a game shop. So, he runs over there. Meanwhile, the butler is also going to return back to the medical castle. I think that was what it was called. However, on the way, you know, the limo almost hits Yugi. So, that's a little bit of a problem. So, we take the butler to the hospital. And we learn from the doctor that this guy's supposed to be dead for years now, actually. However, he keeps being alive. Now, how is he alive? Well, that's very simple. He's being kept together by, well, duct tape and everything being artificial. Artificial lungs, artificial heart. Everything is basically artificial. So then the butler wakes up and wants to have a duel with Yugi. Just a friendly duel. And this duel is a little bit difficult to describe because of the fact that a lot of it gets cut out. But I'll still do my best. So it's a simple duel. So Diamond summons Sleeping Worm in attack position. Yugi then summons Dark Mammoth in attack position. Then afterwards, Yugi draws White and summons Black Scorpion in attack position. Diamond summons Gargoyle in attack position. And like nothing else is shown. And Yugi loses. That's literally it. That's all we get. It's like, okay, Yugi lost. R.I.P. the boy. But then Teiya wants to peel an orange for the butler, and Yugi is going to help, which also makes the butler think back to when Kaiba did it. But then Kaiba arrives for the butler, and he also has a little bit of a talk with Yugi about the fact that the butler was actually the one who taught Kaiba how to, you know, play games, and also that Yugi should be honored to have such a match against the butler. So then Gozaburo returns for just this episode, and he's not happy with Kaiba Land because apparently Kaiba Land is very much over budget. However, Kaiba decides to defend it, and then afterwards reveals that he has basically, you remember during the, I guess you could say filler arc, but you remember during that arc when we get the return of Gozaburo and Kaiba basically got the company out from under Gozaburo? Yeah. Well, here we actually get to see that, which is very nice. But anyway, Kaiba has taken over the company and Gozaburo gets a heart attack or something like that and dies. I don't know. We don't get to see Gozaburo after this, and he doesn't really have a page on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki either. So I don't know if he's ever going to return or really what happened. So let's just say he had an heart attack. R.I.P. the boy. Look, even Norman Osborn didn't have this much of a reaction when he got kicked out of his own company. Come on, dude. It's a little bit pathetic. But anyway, then the butler enters who wanted to see the president, but that's not going to happen. But now, Kaiba wants the butler to battle Yami. So Teiya and Yugi are at the amusement park, and Teiya is still curious about when she gets to meet her future husband instead of this child, which, come on, Teiya, you could be nice to Yugi, okay? I mean, just because he's not this big, strong guy like Hugh Jackman in the X-Men movies, it doesn't mean he can't be husband material either, okay? He cares a lot about you, and he would do anything for you. It's just he's a bit of a coward, which, yeah, okay. We're working on that, okay? We are working on that. By the end of this, not this show, but by the end of the next show, technically, but by the end of the manga, he is going to be husband material because he will have a lot more confidence, which is good. So then, Yugi and Teiya go to the monster park, and Yugi has this idea, but Teiya gets scared and will jump into his arms, which actually is kind of funny because of the fact he's so small. She first has to go on her knees in order to jump into his arms. I thought that was actually pretty funny. You know, like when Tristan wanted that to happen with Miho, it made sense. Tristan was around the same height as Miho, so he could catch her. But Yugi is half the size of Teiya, so she would have to go down first in order to be able to jump into his arms. However, yeah, Teiya thinks it's cute, so that didn't work out, dang it. However, then she starts to scream because one of the monsters has picked her up, and yeah, she's now officially kidnapped. So now Yugi goes to a platform, it goes up, and he has to duel the butler in order to free Taya. Yami then enters, and it's duel time, boys. So the duel starts off with Diamond setting a card face down on the field and summoning Skull Bat. Then afterwards, Dark Yugi, now he's called Dark Yugi. Yami summons King Rex in attack position, and it attacks Skull Bat, but that activates the face down trap card, Golgotha's Punishment, which immobilizes King Rex and reduces his attack by at least 500 because now Skull Bat is able to kill it. So then Dark Yugi summons Big 3 in defense position and sets a card face down. So Diamond summons Blood Zombie and attempts to attack Big 3. However, Yami then activates a face down card, Miraculous Water, which destroys Blood Zombie and powers up Big 3 from 4 to 900 attack points. And also it releases some seeds that destroy Skull Bat as well. So a bit of a good old combo. Afterwards, the butler talks of Kaiba's happy times, and also he has been out of the capsule for too long, so he gets a bit of a recharge, and then the machine comes down in front of his eyes, and he gets to see Yami's cards that he's holding in his hand. However, the butler rejects the seeing of the cards because he wants to do this honestly, and then afterwards summons Gold Pegasus. So Dark Yugi, look, I'm just gonna say what it says here, okay? That will make things go by a lot faster. But anyway, Dark Yugi summons Devil Dragon in attack position, and it attacks and destroys the Golden Pegasus. Diamond then summons Fairy Olfear in attack position, and then Dark Yugi, Devil Dragon destroys that as well. Then we got Demonomist, which also gets destroyed. However, this was all part of the butler's plan because he now summons Zombie Master in attack position, and he gains attack equal to like the monsters destroyed or something like that. And that means that it now has enough in order to be able to destroy Devil Dragon. And apparently after this, multiple turns have passed. Yugi has summoned King Beetle, Dark Mammoth, and Mushroom Man. And then the butler's monster destroys all 3 of those monsters. So then afterwards, Yugi Dark's Flute of Light, and he activates Revive the Dead Monster Reborn to revive Diamond's Fairy Olfear to his side of the field, which causes Zombie Mans to lose power. Yugi then equips it with the Flute of Light, which raises its attack to the value above Zombie Monster, and then Zombie Master gets destroyed. Dark Yugi wins the battle. Yami has won, boys! Of course he has won. So Taya is now free. The butler thinks that Yami is the only one who can help Kaiba get back to being not so much of a prick, still kind of a prick, but like more just like a lesser prick anyway, not pure evil, because as Kaiba walks away, he bumps into a kid, steps on an orange, and gets into the limo. So yeah, basically go back from that, like not that bad, okay? You can get Kaiba back to neutral stand, maybe. I don't know. Kaiba's never a good guy, so I don't know what this is all about, to be honest. But whatever, doesn't matter. Anyway, maybe Yugi can get Kaiba's heart back, who's to say? But anyway, that's how the episode ends, and overall, I very much enjoyed it. But now we are done with 4 of Game Masters, which means next time it is going to be Kaiba himself whenever, another episode with Kaiba happens, because now that the Game Master is done, we gotta take care of the king, that being Kaiba. So let me know what you guys thought about this episode in the comment section down below. And with that being said, thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope you guys have enjoyed. And if you did, please like button, subscribe if you're new, for us, turn on notifications. Don't forget, check out the Let's Play channel link in the description and at the end of the video. And I'll see you guys next time for another return of Bakura. Bye!